I asked on Instagram what the next video you wanted to see was, and the Optifast like pre-op diet was the one that won. So I've just got like some notes and stuff down here in front of me because I don't want to forget what I wanted to talk about. But Optifast, for those of you who don't know, is like a meal replacement, low calorie diet plan. You're put on that or a similar brand leading up to your VSG surgery, with different amounts of time that you have to be on that pre-op diet as per the requirements of like your individual surgeon. You can use Optifast if you're not getting a VSG as well. It's like a low calorie weight loss diet. So if you're watching this and you just want to do a crash diet and lose weight or whatever, this will be helpful for you too. They have different stages of Optifast, like within Optifast. The one that I did or had to do before my surgery was intensive. So that's 3 Optifast meal replacements a day, and that's all you're eating. Now that can be so tough. I mean, for me it was probably the hardest part, really, or one of the hardest parts of getting the whole surgery, including like before, during, after, just because in your pre-op stage you can eat still large amounts, you still feel hungry all the time. You're almost coming up to your surgery, so you have like the mental side of things that come into that, like your stress, your worries, everything that you've got going on in your head leading up to your surgery anyway. Plus you like, because you can still eat large amounts as per usual, it's just your willpower to stick to this and get it right. Now if you don't stick to this, potentially you may not be able to get your surgery. Your surgeon may be like, you haven't done what you needed to do, you actually can't get your surgery. And what I decided to do, so that I didn't just jump into it cold turkey, was to kind of like get my mind right and everything about it and set myself up to start my Optifast journey 4 weeks before my surgery. So I decided in the week 1 I was going to do 1 Optifast meal and 2 normal, but making healthier choices in those other 2 meals. And then on the second week I did 2 Optifast meals, 1 normal meal, again making healthy choices with my normal meal. And then for the last 2 weeks where I was required to do Optifast intensive, I did the intensive one, which is just 3 Optifast meals, and that's it. Now Optifast can be one of the toughest parts of your journey because you can still eat huge amounts like you usually do. You still feel hunger and things like that. So it can be really tough and really mentally tough as well. So I thought I'd just share a few like tips and tricks that I kind of learned along the way to make this Optifast pre-op just that little bit easier. So my first tip would be variety. So Optifast has a wide variety of products, range. I've got some here, I'll show in a second, ranging from like bars, shakes, desserts, soups, all that kind of thing. I printed off the allowed vegetables list and the allowed things, sources list and stuff. I've got it here in front of me. When you buy Optifast, it's like in the box. It'll tell you what you're able to have under your allowed list, because in Optifast Intensive you can have 2 cups of allowed vegetables a day. So first I'll talk about the shakes. Now they come in a variety of flavors. There's vanilla, banana, coffee, chocolate. They're all actually really good. All of those shakes are really good. Just, it says on the shakes, like put them in the sachet and like shake them or like whisk them. My biggest tip would be to get a blender and put them in the blender so they're like milkshakes, and drink them with a straw. You can add, as per the allowed list, certain things to your shakes depending on how much exercise you're doing, and etc, etc. My most common go-to in the morning was the vanilla shake, and it's the exact same recipe as I actually make my vanilla protein that I did in the video before, so go check that out. That one was delicious. So it was just like a coffee morning shake. But having all the flavors there at home as well. Variety is key, because I feel like if you can choose to have strawberry or banana, it's just mentally that makes that easier. You're still picking and you can choose what you kind of feel like as far as flavor goes for that day. So shakes is super important, and I would definitely have 1 shake, maybe even 2 a day out of my 3 Optifast products. Now the next Optifast product to talk about will be the Optifast bars. Now I personally don't really like what these taste like, but that didn't stop me having them probably once a day, because I was busy with the kids out and about. These are just pretty much the only Optifast product I could take with me and have on the go. It's Optifast chocolate, Optifast berry. I think there's a coffee one, although I never had it. These literally taste like cardboard. But I would just drink them with as much water as I could while I was having them, and I would have them like on the go. I think it's so important when you're in that pre-op stage, especially doing the Optifast, to literally try and stay as busy as you possibly can. Like I was taking the kids to like the zoo, to Kelly Charlton's, just like anywhere and everywhere, out walking, avoiding like being around food as much as possible, because you just don't want to be around other people eating, but just keeping busy, keeping active, and you're not thinking about food, because it can be incredibly tough this stage. So those are the bars. They're easy for on the go, and they do have a couple of different flavors. It's just important to have them, I think. Okay, now the next product will be the soups. These were really my lifesaver, the soups. I've got 3 flavors left here. I think this is all the flavors they do anyway. I've got chicken, tomato, and vegetable. Now I had soups almost always for dinner, or potentially I had them as like a late lunch if we'd been out all day. Now I saved all my allowed veggies, which is 2 cups of allowed veggies on the allowed list, like their specific vegetables, for dinner time, or this big meal with these soups. Now this literally like saved my ass. So with the chicken soup, what I did often and loved was the chicken soup mixture. I used the Calorie Clever 10 calorie cognac noodles, which you are allowed to use, and a little bit of curry powder, which you're allowed to use, and it was like a curry chicken noodle soup. This was delicious, and it made me feel like I was eating food. So that was my tip for the chicken one. And the tomato soup, I would put real tomatoes in there with this, and sometimes like a little bit of spinach or like eggplant, something like that, in with this one, just so it was thick. It wasn't just runny, like a runny consistency soup. That was good too. And the vegetable one was another favorite. So from the allowed list of vegetables, I just mixed it up as per what I had really. But I would chop up like mushrooms, carrot, onion, leek, or celery. Definitely celery in the vegetable one. And as long as it made up the 2 cups of allowed veggies, I mixed it with my vegetable soup. And that was just like a really yummy, tasted like a normal vegetable soup. So those are my 3 like favorites. Soups saved my ass. I didn't have these too often, but I'm glad that I had them at home. I've still got quite a few left over because I didn't have them that often, like I say. But if I had a late lunch, so I had my soup, my big like meal of soup in the afternoon, at night I would have like a light Optifast product. So I would use the dessert chocolate. Kind of reminds me of like the Weight Watchers mousse. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer and cool it down just a little bit and eat it, and it reminds me of like ice cream. So this was like a really good one for like a sweet kind of craving. And yeah, that worked really well. The other thing that you could do would be to save your 2 cups and not use them in your soups. And I did do this several times because this can get so tedious and just so taxing mentally as well. It's just like you're not eating really, you're just drinking your food. and after a few weeks that can be really, really difficult. So some other ideas were like lettuce cups stuffed with like mushroom mince, because the mushrooms are on the allowed list. Chop them up, make mushroom mince, chuck them in your lettuce cups and eat those. You can make salad from the allowed list with like lettuce, tomato, spring onion, like nice fresh salad. A stir fry with like your broccoli, your green beans, your cauliflower, as long as you stick under that 2 cup. But that way it's just mixing it up enough that you feel like you're actually doing or eating something, like a salsa as well. So just make sure you look through that allowed list of vegetables that comes in the packs when you buy your Optifast, and there is ways to make that like exciting for you, because it's a battle. It's a tough battle being in the pre-op stage and only being able to do your Optifast. So mind over matter, try to keep it as exciting as you can. Know that this is all going to be worth it, because it's going to be over very soon. And it also, I think, when you cut down your portions like that, it actually prepares you both mentally and physically a lot better for what's going to happen when they take that huge portion of your stomach out anyway, and sets you up to be more successful when you finish if you can do this and do it really, really well. Another couple of tips in addition to what you're eating and like how you're eating it, how you're preparing your Optifast, would just be a few things like keeping really busy. I stayed super busy with the kids being out and about. Avoid being around people and watching people eating food. You're about to have your stomach chopped out and you're terrified about the whole thing. So just as much as you can, remove yourself from temptation, I guess. The other thing, if you have kids or like a husband or whatever or partner that you're preparing food for, I would say prepare your food first and make sure you've eaten. Usually you would prepare food for everybody else and then worry about yourself later. I know we all do it because we're mums. But for this, feed yourself first and then make their food, so that you're not picking or wanting to eat. I feel like you can absent-mindedly pick at something too without even noticing. So the other thing with the pre-op, because it's so mentally taxing to be pretty much on a full liquid diet, I would just say try to take care of you and put you first. I actually missed so many important events and things that friends had, birthday parties, all of this kind of stuff, and I'm sure that it upset my friends. In fact, I know post all of this it did really upset my friends, that I didn't attend a lot of stuff, but I really just needed to take care of me, and be selfish for the first time. Really, I like to do things for other people all the time, and for this moment my mental state was so all over the place, and I was absolutely petrified to be going under and getting this operation. I just kept thinking, oh my god, I'm going under to selfishly like lose weight. What if I die? And blah blah blah. I was in all over the place. So just, if you need to become a recluse and you need to pull back and stay at home and just take care of you and not be around people eating food, not be socializing, anything like that, then you just do you, because you just need to do what you need to do to survive. And you can totally do this, even if at times it feels like you can't. You 100% can. And I just think that all of those suggestions across the board, that's what helps you survive it. If you were just to have 4 weeks of vanilla shakes, I don't know how you would make it. So use every tool you have in your arsenal and everything that you're allowed on your list. Get creative, have fun with it, and you've got this.